Well, as you can see, I've got my Lister D apart. I'll tell you the reason why. I was going to trade this block for Crank Up Chris. He had his Lister D and he was going to trade blocks with me because he was going to do a cutaway of his Lister D because he was missing quite a few parts and likes of that. But I took the D apart because I was going to swap blocks, obviously, and then he ended up changing his mind. So I've got a D all in pieces. So what I'm going to do, I don't want this to be a neglected project like the rest of them seem to be, and get this all back together as quick as I can, unrestored. Just clean it out a bit while it's all apart. Seems to be alright apart from the bore. There's quite a bit of a ridge right at the top of the cylinder where it's been wore. But what I'm going to do, what I do with every engine, is I give them a light hone before I put it back together. Just did start burning oil, so I'll give it a light hone. It should take away that, rebedding the rings again. So I'll drop a bit of oil on here. This is in the pillar drill, and I'm going to hone it out. I use a free stone hone, it's Carborundum stones. So we'll give it a go. I've already done a little bit, so it shouldn't take too long, about 30 seconds or so. If you listen carefully, you can hear where the high spot is, or the ridge. When I lift the hone back, you can hear it gets a bit louder. There we go. Leave it there a second. There we go. I'm going to have to make a new head gasket for this as well. When I restore it, I'll buy a new one, but for now I'm going to make one. One last pass and then we'll take it out. That should be enough. Let's have a look. Yeah, it looks quite a bit better now. It's taken away quite a bit of the ridge, and it's nicely honed the cylinder. If you can see in there's quite a bit of rusty rubbish in there, so I'm going to have to look at that next. Not sure, there was water in the sump, so I don't know whether that's the head gasket leaking, or maybe the water jacket. What's this here? Don't know where this come from. It's been the sump. Oh well. Oh. Soon find out what that's for. Oh well, now I'm gonna clean up the crankcase because there's quite a bit of oily muck in there. And probably Carborundum paste now from the honer. So that's what I'm going to do now. I have found out what that little bit of metal was. Part of the splash tray. Because I undone the bolts on the other side and that must have dropped into the sump, so that's what that is. You see what sort of muck's on that dipper. Well, I've been cleaning the hopper out. Took quite a lot. There's about ½ inch of rust and muck in there. You see from the plug it's quite corroded. What I've done is I screw a bit of water pipe on the hole where that was, and then had a bit of pipe out there somewhere, like maybe about 3 foot. Filled the hopper out of water and washed it right out. And then after I washed it out, I sprayed it out with the airline. Give it a good get rid of most of it. There's a load of, in the workshop over there, there's a load of rusty mess all over the floor. But since a lot of it went in the sump, what I've done is I'm soaking the sump in paraffin overnight. So when I come back from college tomorrow, I'll clean it up a bit more. I've also got some of the components in there, washing up. I've got the piston, the rings, the gudgeon pin, the rockers and the shaft all soaking. You can see it's gone a bit browny colour, the paraffin, so must be doing some good to it. I put one of the rings in the bore to gap it to see if the rings was worn or not. I think this engine may have had new rings recently, because if you look closely, see the gap's barely anything. Barely a points gap. I reckon it's less than you'd gap your points. So that's quite good. I don't think this engine will need to be bored. It's good rings. Don't need to get new rings for it. So that's good. Thought I'd show you what I made a couple of days ago for it. I made some rough trolley handles so I can wheel it around a bit, based on sort of a Lister design. Where I made it out of water pipe and welded it together. I'll take some pictures in a minute. But yeah, so I'll come back to this tomorrow night. Well, tonight, before I finish cleaning out the crankcase of the Lister, I'm going to make a head gasket. Because this is the old one, it's been leaking quite badly, even though I put sealer on it. Split through the middle and all that. So what I'm going to use for this is some Alite paper. Now I've used this quite a bit with the A11, and I'm going to use it on the Pet-A-Ray as well. This I don't know how thick it is. Let's get the ruler. Let me just put the camera down a minute. It's 3mm thick, roughly. So it's nice stuff. It's made out of a rubbery sort of material. So I think what I'm going to do is put the Lister head gasket on there and draw around it and cut it out. That's what I'm going to do now. We'll see how it goes. Well, there's it all marked out on the sheet with a bit of a permanent marker. So what I'm going to do now is cut it out. I know these are good, they make good head gaskets because the, like I said, the Pet-A-Ray 11 has got a head gasket made of this stuff and it seems to be alright. It's not leaking or anything. It's sort of, the heat makes it go black on the inside, but that's burnt, I suppose, with the firing of the engine. But otherwise it stays rubbery like this, it doesn't go hard. So what I'm going to do now is cut it out. We'll see how this goes. Well, there we have it, it's all cut out. Smoothed it off quite well with a bit of sandpaper, so I think it'll be alright. It's quite hard to cut, so if you can't really cut with standard gasket paper, which is there, you don't really stand a chance with this, because if you look at, I got a piece here, if I do this with it, it just snaps in half, look. It's really funny stuff. So I've had it split there, and one place here as well. Can't really see it now. There, cross between there. So should be right, because that's still in, on the actual casting, there's a line all the way around here, so that'll be right. So anyway, I got the Lister outside there, you can't really see it in the dark, but I'm going to bring it in the shed, move some more of the stuff out of the way, and then I'll start cleaning out the sump. Hang out up there for now. Well, I've now finished washing the crankcase out. I've drained the paraffin out. You can see it's looking quite nice in there, nice and clean. So yeah, so what I'm going to do now is put the dipper plate back in, and then sort out the piston and the rings, put that back in with the con rod, and then hopefully I've got to make a gasket for the front plate where the bearing is, and then put the crank back in. So that's what I'm going to do now. Well, there's the piston and con rod both cleaned up. So what I'm going to do now is put the gudgeon pin through the piston and the con rod, connect them together, and then drop them down in the board. Well, there's a new gasket made for the front plate and the pistons in. All that's done. The crank's connected, as you can see. All tightened up, torqued out. So what I'm going to do now is bring the timing case up here, or the back case with the timing gears and all that on, and have a look at cleaning that up. Well, I've brought the back plate up here, and it doesn't seem to be in too bad a condition, so I'm not really going to touch it. I'm just going to oil the bearings and likes of that, and I'll just give it a quick wipe over. I've made a gasket for the back, so what I'm going to do now is put the studding in, and then fix the back plate back on. One thing I've got to do is put some shims under the magneto, because the chain's a bit loose, so I've got a few shims, so I'll put that under there. Well, I've put the back plate on now, timed the magneto, put the shim in, and I've put the side plate on as well. Put some gasket sealer on that. So basically I'm now ready to sort out the head and put it on. Well, that's the cylinder head on, the rockers are in. So all I've got to do now is put the carb and the exhaust on, and it should be ready for a run. Well, that's the Lister all back together now. I've filled it up with water, there's petrol in the tank, so I think we'll see if it will start. The handles are a bit wobbly still, but I've got to put some bolts through the bottom pieces. They're only screwed on roughly at the moment. Hey, it's running out of treat. I'm quite impressed with this. Yeah, so I shut it off now. Yeah, so it's turned out quite nice. Well, thanks for watching.